Welcome, Travel Week readers. Thank you for joining us today for our special webinar. Today we have some really exciting guests. I'm very excited to have them on. We've got Chantal and Jimmy from Agencia and Westjet, and they are here to give a presentation on some new things that have been happening there. Before we get started with the presentation, I just would like to go through a few little housekeeping notes. So first and foremost, if you have any questions during the length of the presentation, please just pop them into the Q&A box below. We'll save those questions right to the end of the presentation. So once Jimmy and Chantal are done presenting, we can, I will then come on and I will ask some questions on your behalf. Hopefully we can get to them all. If not, we can share those questions as well later, and you can always get in touch later to get those questions answered as well. Today, Jimmy is going to be sharing more about the eligibility for the amazing prize that you can win for staying through to the end of this webinar today. So I will let Jimmy share more about that part of the webinar. And with no further ado, I would like to pass them both over to you. So as you know, Travel Week is so dedicated to sharing the best information for travel agents to book amazing holidays and travel product for their clients. And with that, I pass the floor over to Jimmy and Chantal. Chantal, if you are starting, you can also share your screen now if you'd like, because right now we're not seeing a share screen.
Oh, you're not? Okay, hold on one moment.
Sure, no problem.
You know what, while Chantal's setting that up, I'll chime in quickly just to talk about the raffle price. So first and foremost,
thanks, Jimmy.
First and foremost, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be with us this afternoon. So as advertised, we are raffling off 2 discount vouchers with Westjet. They could be used for a 50% discount on economy fares or 75% off premium base fares. They are for one-way tickets. That's why we're offering 2. So one of you could get a fully round trip fare discounted. The criteria to qualify for the raffle is really simple. We ask that you attend this presentation in its entirety, that you register for an account on Agencia Global, which I'll show you how to do. It takes about a minute or 2. And then we ask that you make at least 1 WestJet booking between today and May 26th. So you'll have 3.5 weeks to make that 1 booking. And just to sweeten the pot, we're going to put some extra money in your pocket on that booking also, which I'll be getting into later in the presentation. Looks like we could finally see Chantal's screen. So Chantal, over to you.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'm sorry. I seem to be having some not technical issues, but I'm sorry for the distraction. But first, thank you, Candice. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm so thrilled to be here on the webinar for today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us. It's my pleasure to give you a little bit of an update with Westjet. So I'll go through a short presentation, and then Jimmy, I'll pass it over to you to also share great information about Agencia Global as well. So to start, I just wanted to do a quick introduction. So I'm Chantal Tourangeau. I work with Westjet. I've been with the company for about 7 years. And when I am not, in client meetings or traveling for business, I have a true passion for travel and adventures. And that's the reason why not only I've been with Westjet for 7 years, but overall in the travel industry for 25 years. We always start because safety is our #1 priority at Westjet. So we always start our meeting with a safety moment. So basically our safety moment today is just to take that time to keep it balanced between life, your personal life, and also work. I know a lot of you work from home. So basically it's always important to take that time during the day to, again, just setting your boundaries from physical and social boundaries, learning to say no sometimes, because sometimes we have too much on our plate and you have to keep that balance, and just to take a break and take those steps in during the day. Take a walk in the park or the woods always feels great for the soul. So I wanted to give you a quick update with Westjet and kind of where we started 27 years ago. So we used to have 3 aircraft flying to 5 cities, and we said that we would never fly past Winnipeg. Well, 27 years later, we actually now nearly 250 routes to over 100 destinations in 24 countries. And obviously with the last 3 years with the pandemic, we had a lot of changes and impact. But now I can say that we've rebuilt our network and, all of our aircrafts are up in the air and flying. So great news as we all came very strong after the pandemic. So I won't go through all of this because there's so much information through the development and changes and growth of Westjet over the 27 years. But I think what's important to mention is that the expansion, not only flying within Canada, but also transborder to sun destinations, starting to fly into Europe, and now just recently our first destination into Asia, which is great. To Tokyo, actually, and I'll cover a little bit more details on this. So coming out of the pandemic, it did represent a lot of changes from an airline landscape, and some of the focus that Westjet has, I guess, went back to is almost like to our roots and how Westjet, when we started 27 years ago, what made us successful, what made us, do so well in the travel industry. So we started out west, and definitely, we have great support and a great network out in the west. So we've started rebuilding those frequency and routes, but also making Calgary our main hub. So we still have a significant amount of flying out of the two other hubs, Toronto and Vancouver, but really focusing on developing that traffic and volume that we have at our Calgary hub. Also, a lot of our focus moving forward, and this is not just a short-term strategy, but long-term strategy, is focusing on leisure flying. And just with the recent acquisition of Sunwing, this is great news as it's adding into our sun flying destination. Not that it has an impact on Westjet, but it's still, they're part of the Westjet group, and that down the road can represent, some growth and changes as well too from Westjet Group. Low cost advantage is our third pillar that we are focusing on. And what we mean by that is not a low cost carrier, but a low cost advantage, meaning re-looking at everything that we do in our operations and making sure that we maximize on lowering our cost of operation so we can deliver more competitive airfares to our travelers. So really being competitive and allowing, everyone that wants to fly the ability to fly. And that was kind of our philosophy when we started initially, right? It was just allowing every Canadian to be able to fly, bringing that cost down. So that's what we're focusing again as we're moving forward. One thing that hasn't changed is the culture at Westjet. So a lot of changes have happened through the years, but love where you're going is really that ownership mindset, that going above and beyond and making sure that we give that exceptional guest experience. Some of our aircrafts, we offer economy, but we also have a wonderful premium product cabin that we offer. And now with the launch of our 787 Dreamliner, we have that ability to even extend it to a business class, which is just an amazing service. And I'll show you some pictures and what that service looks like. Something that we're moving forward is our Westjet and Delta airline joint venture. So we have a code share with Delta, and you'll see that a lot of our new destination and routes that we have announced, especially into transborder into the US, is to the Delta major hubs. So it's ensuring that we're offering those flying within Canada or Canada to transborder and beyond the Delta hubs that they're offering into the US. So really expanding our network. And then with code share, it goes beyond Delta. We have code share with Air France, KLM, and so forth. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but we are truly a global company when you look at our code share and interline. So I mentioned about Calgary International Airport. We've actually, I want to say, in first part of the year in Q1, we announced actually a big announcement that we've signed a memorandum of agreement with the government of Alberta. And basically it is to develop the business into Alberta, but also to, along with the Calgary Airport Authority, is to double and I did say double the traffic at Calgary International Airport. So you will see Calgary becoming as important as Vancouver, as Toronto, as Montreal. So it is going to be a significant hub. And obviously that's part of our strategy and growth. So it's really to double the traffic there. Speaking about Calgary, it's a great connection hub, like I said, into the US, but also connecting into Europe. We have what is called excuse me again. We have what's called Sixth Freedom. It's the right to fly from one foreign country to another while stopping in one's own country. So for us, Westjet, our own country is Canada, and primarily focusing on our Calgary hub. And out of Calgary right now, we're flying to multiple destinations through Europe. So really, as part of your business, there is that possibility to book Americans, especially in the western part of the US, and then have them connecting a short flight into Calgary and then beyond to Paris, to London, to Ireland. So, there's always that opportunity to, because we've actually realized that it's quite an underserved market from Western USA into Europe, but that is possible through Sixth Freedom with WestJet connecting through Calgary. And I'll show you exactly which direct flights that we are flying right now from Calgary into Europe. So our new destinations, always very exciting to share. So we've announced our new routes for 2023 summer schedule. I mentioned about first time that we fly to Asia. That started on April 30th to Tokyo, Japan. So we have 3 times weekly flights until the end of October. And our summer schedule right now is until October 28th. So, beyond that, I think midsummer we'll be announcing our winter schedule. But basically what I'm covering right now is currently our summer schedule up until the end of October. We've also announced Detroit, Michigan, as well from Calgary, Washington, DC as well from Calgary, and Minneapolis from Edmonton. I'll just quickly go through some others. They'll give a little bit more detail. So some of the key, Calgary being our hub, we've announced Calgary to Moncton. So these are all direct nonstop markets. Calgary to Thunder Bay, Terrace, Kitimat. Also Calgary to Boston, Chicago, and also to Costa Rica. From Edmonton, we've announced nonstop markets, again, as of most of them end of April, June, or July. So Edmonton to Penticton, Edmonton, Ottawa, Moncton, London, Ontario, Charlottetown, Nanaimo, and then also for the US, Edmonton to Seattle and Edmonton to Puerto Vallarta. For Vancouver, we've announced nonstop markets, Vancouver, Regina, and then Vancouver, Atlanta, Nashville, Orlando, and Puerto Vallarta. And of course, as you can see, like I mentioned about the Delta airline, Atlanta being their busiest and strongest hub, it's important for us to offer those connections from Vancouver to Atlanta and Calgary to Atlanta as well too. From Toronto, a few flights nonstop that were announced as well too. Toronto to Bermuda, Toronto, Costa Rica, and Punta Cana. For US destinations, so a little bit more in detail. So Washington, this was a flight, actually a route that was not serviced by any airline. So we were happy to come first with that route announcement starting June 2nd. So as of tomorrow, so Calgary to Washington with a frequency of 3 times weekly. Detroit, Michigan. So just, I won't go through all the details, but we've already started that route 5 times weekly nonstop, as well as starting tomorrow, 5 times weekly nonstop between Edmonton and Minneapolis. We've also brought back Austin, Texas. I'd like to go through some of the key US destinations because a lot of travel professionals are not aware that we're flying to so many US destinations, but I just wanted to share some of the new flights, some that we've brought back and some new routes that we've implemented. But this one for Austin is 2 times weekly nonstop service between Calgary and Austin. So for our international destinations, we actually have flying now to Tokyo. So this was our first flight on April 30th. Definitely doing extremely well. So we're very, very pleased with the results and the booking of the Tokyo route. And basically it is flying on our Dreamliner, which is amazing. So again, even economy is such a great experience. And then you have premium and also business class, which I'll show you some pictures. But basically, when I was speaking to our Europe destinations, currently they're all serviced out of Calgary, all on the 787 Dreamliner. So we're flying to Barcelona, Dublin, Edinburgh, also to London, Gatwick, Heathrow, Paris, and Rome. From product updates, so I mentioned a few times about our business cabin on the 787 Dreamliner. So it is 16 pods that we offer with lay flat seats where they completely recline. It is restaurant style dining, so you can order as often as you want. Of course, you have a full meal, drinks as well too. And you can't see here the middle, but I think there is a picture, but there's two seats each side, and then the two seats in the middle, actually there's a divider. So if there's a couple actually traveling together, there's a divider that can go down so that the two individuals or business partners can have a conversation, or you can keep it up so that it's private as well too. So here you can see from the first picture here on the top left corner, that divider I was speaking, and having kind of like those pods side by side where it can be private, or you can have, like I said, someone you're traveling with conversations with. So great, absolutely amazing experience. Our premium class, so this one is showing our premium cabin on the 787 Dreamliner. So again, a wonderful experience, very roomy, a lot of space, a meal included, and drinks as well too. You have your private washrooms, which a lot of people do appreciate that. And as you can tell, there's closed curtains, and it's really a separate cabin altogether. And then this is showing our premium cabin. However, on our 737, which pretty much is basically our aircraft for the remainder of our fleet, except for the small regional Q400s that we also have on very, very shorter flights. But the 737 is primarily our aircraft from our fleet, and it's the first 3 rows. It's about 20% more space, so definitely a great experience, extra room. And I know that some of you that may have flown with Westjet, at one point we had 3 seats and there was a blocker in the middle seat. Well, all of our aircrafts have been completely converted to the 2x2 seating, which is consistent, brand new on all of our aircraft. So there's no more of that blocker middle seat. For 2-3 years now since the pandemic started. We had a lot of our aircrafts actually that were not flying, a portion of them, so it allowed us to go through a full refurbishment. So this is showing again the 737 premium cabin as well, just showing all the space that travelers have, as well as from a guest experience, so more on the digital side. With the pandemic, we had to implement a lot of self-serve capabilities, touchless services, right? Just to enhance the safety of travelers and build that confidence that, traveling is very, very safe. So, which was great because now it's really contributing to giving that option, hands-on information that travelers have access to during their travel journey. So being informed. So we do recommend for all travelers to use the Westjet app to create a Westjet Rewards loyalty profile so that we have your choice of communication, whether it is through text or email during your journey. So if there's a gate change, time change of your flight, you're constantly being informed and you're getting information immediately. So just encourage your travelers to to enroll and to use the Westjet app, and also Westjet loyalty rewards program for communication, and also of course for VIP services as their top status upgrades if they fly frequently with Westjet. The Westjet app, some of the features is convenience, user friendly. We even have at some of the major airports airport maps that people can, and where to find a Westjet lounge, where to find customer service, guest services if they need to speak to someone. So really user friendly, but also for the in-flight services for access to internet, entertainment, all done through the Westjet app. And then Also, what we have changed is the dynamic boarding passes that are updated. So if someone is eligible for a seat upgrade, then basically instead of being called to the Westjet desk at the gate to speak to an agent and get a new boarding pass, it's actually pushed dynamically to the Westjet app. So you will get notified of a change. You'll see your seat being circled, and which now you know that you've had a seat change, an upgrade to our premium cabin example, or business class, if that's possible as well too. But basically it's dynamic and you don't have to do anything else but board with that, boarding pass that's been updated. So really cool features, but it's great. And even if there's a gate change, it's pushed through your boarding pass as well too. Everything is very dynamic. I spoke a little bit about Westjet Rewards. Again, we just encourage every traveler, even if they travel once or twice with us per year, really just to have that, priority services available, and also from a communication perspective, like I said, very, very important. Some of our Westjet lounge. So we do have in Calgary our own Westjet operated lounge, and we own that lounge. However, we offer multiple other lounges through other airports: Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, Vancouver, London, Gatwick, and Heathrow, as well as in Barcelona, Paris, Rome, and also in Jamaica, Montego Bay. So basically, except for Calgary, all of the other lounge are partner lounge with either Swissport or Premium Plaza Lounge. But for those that have gold or platinum tier status with Westjet Rewards, have immediately access to the lounge. Also, anyone that has booked a business class with Westjet would also automatically have access to the lounge as well too. So here's showing just a little bit of our lounge at Calgary Airport. It is absolutely state of the art. We have a Canadian-inspired seasonal menu. We have even our own locally brewed elevation beer. So, the elevation lounge. So we have our own beer that's been crafted. Also, for those that are actually connecting through Calgary, and, either they've come from Europe, connecting through Calgary, and now maybe they're moving on to, their final destination. Or, even if they arrive in Calgary, they can actually access the lounge and book a spa-like shower space. So it's absolutely stunning. It's just a nice feature that, especially for connections, if you need to quickly access the lounge and refresh before your final destination. We have soft leather loungers. So as you can say, and I've been to the lounge quite numerous times, and it just allows people to have a nap or just to get some rest and put their feet up. And we also have a dedicated family space, which is absolutely soundproof, so kids can have fun, enjoy, scream, and laugh. But it's definitely, a great feature to have that. This is showing the lounge. Like I said, it's brand new. We've only had it maybe well, at the beginning of COVID. Is actually it was in the plans of having it fully ready. Of course, then the pandemic hit, but we still proceeded with the opening of the lounge. So now when you go in, it's quite busy. Excuse me. One of the changes at the airport, and again, just as a guest experience and providing your travelers, your guests, with proper information so that they save time at the airport, is that when you arrive at the airport and you used to go to the chicken the chicken kiosk. When you go to the kiosk, you're able to print your baggage tags, put them on your bag, and if you needed to pay, if the baggage were not included in your fare, the fare that was purchased, or if baggage needs to be paid, you can no longer pay for those at the kiosk. So basically, someone would have to line up at the Westjet main counter to process and pay for those bags. So we do encourage to prepay for the baggage, just to save that time at the airport. Your customers will appreciate you for informing them of that. So just quickly on the travel agent resource site, basically it's a wonderful tool that we've created and made available to our travel agent partners. So basically we've just introduced a new subscribe to communication. So you can go in, subscribe, fill in your information, indicate, your preference of communication as well too. And of course, you can unsubscribe at any time. But the type of information you will find under travel agent resource is basically, information on destinations, on our products. We have latest news, schedule release, any information with IROP ticket reissue, all of it. And we've incorporated a search functionality that really allows you easy navigation through the entire site and find instantly, the information that you're looking for. I've included the link there, so it's pretty simple. Westjet Travel Agents with an S.com. And basically what we've indicated, because sometimes, especially during the winter months when there's ice and snowstorms, sometimes, there's a lot of flight disruptions. So the number of calls coming in can be higher than usual. So we do have a callback that we've implemented with Travel Agent Air Callback that we've implemented if you need to speak to an agent. So very efficient to save time. Also, we've implemented the Travel Agent chat with a live agent. So again, just, a name correction or requesting e-documents, add an email to an existing booking. So, so that we have all the information. So again, just a really useful way to chat quickly with an agent and get something modified or changed to the booking. And then we have our travel agent support team, which is available 7 days a week. But also we have a team after hours that are able also to assist with any question. And again, if you don't remember, the phone number, just westjettravelagency.com and then look up the contact us and you'll find all the information there. So that's all I had from my end, Candice, and now I would like to pass it over to you, Jimmy, or Candice.
Thank you so much, Chantal. Awesome presentation. And yeah, it looks like there's been some action in the Q&A section. So people were pretty interested in what you had to say. So yes, I will now take over. Give me a second as I share my screen here. So first and foremost, I'd like to correct myself because I saw a few questions come into the Q&A about the date of the promotion. And yes, I misspoke. We're already in June. So no, the promotion doesn't end on May 26th. It does end on June 26th. I'm very sorry about that, everyone. So between June 1st and June 26th is the period during which you'd have to make a Westjet booking on Agencia to qualify for the promotion. For the raffle, excuse me. The reason I selected those dates is because we actually have a bonus commission program going on with Westjet, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But now that Chantal has kind of given you a rundown of all the cool news at Westjet, if you're interested in making a booking with them, I'm here to show you why you should make that booking specifically on Agencia. So we'll just make a test booking together right now. So when you log into Agencia, you'll get to your dashboard, which is the homepage we're looking at right now. So you could proceed immediately to booking a flight or a car rental. And I would ask also that you keep an eye on the news section right over here, because you'll see bonus commission constantly. We always work with our airline partners to secure as many exclusive bonus commission programs as possible. We know as travel agents, the last couple of years have been turbulent for you. And we want to make sure now that the world is back to normal, that we line your pockets as best as possible every single time you issue a ticket. So on that note, let's make a quick booking with Westjet. You'll notice this banner right over here that's going to follow us right over to the search page as well, mentioning that you could earn more on your next booking with Westjet. So when you click on that banner, you'll get a little pop-up that gives you the terms and conditions, basically, in the qualifying O&Ds. We've got basically a blanket promotion going on right now out of Canada for point of sale Canada. So anything you book originating in Canada will qualify for some form of bonus commission. So let's look at that right now. So any ticket from Canada to Tokyo, you will get a $50 commission, bonus commission per ticket, $20 for Europe, $10 destination US, and $5 for domestic Canada. That'll run from today until the 26th. And that applies to all fare types, all RBDs, and for all travel dates up to and including December 31st. Now, when we run this search and select an itinerary, I'm in a demo account, so you won't see the amount of commission that the ticket is eligible for. But just a quick little detail, everything that's loaded in Agencia that'll show you commission at the time of ticketing is basically our upfront commission program with the airline. These bonus commission programs are added after the fact when we pay out commissions on a biweekly basis. So anything you see on the results page or the checkout page as what you stand to make on a booking is always before your bonus commission. And we make sure to call that out here at the bottom when we say bonus commission applies over and above the amount displayed on the results and checkout page. So just keep that in mind. So booking on Agencia is a 3-page process. Page 1 of 3, we simply enter our search criteria. So we can book a round trip, a one-way, or a multi-city itinerary, multi-city allowing for up to 5 city pairs. What you're looking at right over here is not just a currency display selector, but it's actually a point of sale selector also. So let's say, for example, you're located in Windsor and you're looking to make a booking out of Detroit, Vancouver, looking to book out of Montreal, out of Seattle, excuse me. Wouldn't make much sense to book out of Montreal from Vancouver. Feel free to click on USD right over here, and that'll give you access to all our commissions and net fares for point of sale Canada. So we have partnerships with airlines both north and south of the Canadian border. And if you're looking to book something out of Seattle, for example, you'll definitely get a better incentive if you click on USD right over here. So just keep that in mind. So let's say we're looking to book a round trip and we want to make that extra $50 commission on Tokyo. And we're flying out of Calgary, for example. So it would be YYC to NRT. We'll go a couple of months out here. Well, maybe September is a little too far. Let's say we're going from August 25th to September 7th. Agencia will allow you to put up to 9 passengers on one PNR. So this is where you provide the breakdown of adults, children, infants on lap and on seat. You could also isolate the cabin class on the results page if you'd like. You could check this little box here if you want results for nonstop flights only. And you could also disable multi-tickets and remove them from the search results. So what we mean by multi-tickets is Agencia is set up to automatically search for 2 one-way fares as well as true round-trip fares. In the case that the 2 one-ways are less expensive, it'll display those. If you're not interested in those for any reason, click disable multi-tickets right here and you'll only get those true blue round-trip fares. And finally, you could filter for preferred airline, so either by airline code or by spelling out the airline name. And if I were to check this off right here, it would only give me Westjet results, but we'll show everybody in the results page. So that's where we simply click on search flights right over here, and it'll take about 25 to 30 seconds as it runs through the GDS and a couple of API connections we have set up to provide as many results as possible. Now you'll notice the Westjet banner changed. So now you've got your Calgary to Narita banner. And again, if you click on it, you'll get that same pop-up that gives you the breakdown of the bonus commission. So quick note, anytime we do have a bonus commission program available at Agencia on an OND that you're searching, you will see the airlines banner pop up, and we do encourage you to click on that so you get that pop-up that'll give you the T's and C's on that bonus commission. We definitely don't want anything to be overlooked by our agency partners. So if you see a banner, rest assured there's something in it for you. We're not the type to just put a logo up there for the purposes of brand awareness. If there's not crucial information for our agents or a way for them to make extra money, the banner just simply doesn't go up. So keep an eye out for our banners. So here we are on the results page. The top of the page is simply going to recap the information we selected on the previous page, our search criteria. So if there are any mistakes, we could just click on refine. It'll shoot us right back to the search page and we can make our adjustments accordingly. Below that, we've got our carrier matrix. So what this will do is organize airlines in ascending order of price from left to right based on number of stops. The lowest price on 2 out of the 3 rows is highlighted in blue. And the lowest price overall will be highlighted in green, which is this bottom row right over here for the 2-stop itinerary. But if you want to get a better idea of, what those prices entail, stopovers, where the connections are, and so on, then that would be in the available flight section. So for example, we see this itinerary here with United at 5,900, which is the 2 stops. If we click on view flights and we see the outbound flights on the left, inbound flights on the right, we'll see that we're looking at a minimum connection time of 2 full days, basically. So although the price is interesting, no one on God's green earth is going to end up booking that. So That's why we encourage you, scroll down to available flights, click on view flights, and that's where you'll see more options. Now you see we do have a ton of options here right now, but we could filter down those search results. So let's say, for example, we're not interested in 2-stop itineraries and we want a more reasonable round trip time. You'll see flight duration right here. You've got 19 hours round trip, all the way up to 103 hours, which again, no one's going to be interested in. So you could just kind of slide that down and say, for example, hey, I'm willing to accept, let's call it 2 hours each way. So an average of 2 hours, 23 hours total time. We simply click on apply filters and then our search results get narrowed down. Okay, that wasn't on purpose, but we see that only Westjet offers an itinerary of 23 hours or less round trip. Now, before we get into selecting an itinerary, I also wanted to draw your attention here to the flexible day matrix. So when you click on that, basically it's going to give you a price for a bunch of different date combinations. What we've done is added and subtracted 3 days from both the outbound and the inbound dates. And giving you the lowest available price and number of stops for each date combination. Anything that's displayed in white is generally at the same price or more expensive than the price for the date combination you selected. Anything in green would be less expensive. Now here, as luck would have it, I happened to select the date combination with the lowest possible price. Therefore, the ones highlighted in green are the next cheapest after this price specifically. So now, let's say we want to select a fare here from Westjet. We've got our outbound flight on the left, inbound on the right. From left to right, what are we looking at here? If you see a little blue line next to the airline's name, that means that branded fares are available. You've then got your fare type, RBD, your price per passenger. When you hover over it, it'll give you a little pop-up that provides the breakdown of base fare versus taxes. Your total price, little blue luggage icon. If you click on it, you'll see a new window opens. We send you straight to the airline's website for baggage information. If you're looking for any, there we go. And then right below here on the outbound and inbound flights, same thing from left to right, number of seats remaining, your flight number, RBD, segment O&D, departure and arrival times, and your flight duration. Click on the little blue icon right over here, and you'll be presented with the fare rules pulled straight out of the GDS. So in the case of both the baggage policy or the fare rules, you'll note here we're going straight to the source, so no need to worry whether or not Agencia is updating information as it's received or if anything's slipping through the cracks. When an airline updates their site or the airline updates the information in the GDS, Agencia is automatically updated. So at that point, if you're interested in this itinerary, you would click on both the outbound and the inbound. You'll see your little commission calculator kicking in. Now I'm in a demo account, so this will show up as 0. There you go. So you'll see how much that ticket will pay. And you've also got your branded fares available right over here. So let's say, for example, they want the business class. Click on business class. You'll see your price per passenger kind of changed right over there. And we'll just go back to econo for now. Once you've selected your fare, click on book, and you're already on your way to page 3 of 3. So here it's just confirming seat availability. Once we get to the checkout page, same concept as at the top as was the case on at the top of page 2. We're just going to recap the information you selected on the previous page. So you'll see your itinerary. There we go. The outbound and inbound flights are separated by blue highlighting. You've got your aircraft, RBD, flight duration. If you forgot to click on the little blue luggage icon on the previous page, you could still do so here, but now that the fare is selected, when you hover over it, you'll see how many pieces of luggage are included with that fare. Then gives you a recap of your fare family details. You enter your passenger info right over here. For those that didn't notice, I clicked the little button at the top called autofill, which kind of filled out the form with passenger info, so I don't waste your time making you watch me do that. For Point of Sale Canada, we do have an insurance agreement with Manulife. So if you don't already work with an insurance provider, or you just kind of want to shop around insurance to see maybe if there are more lucrative deals out there for you, this is already pre-built into Agencia. So once you select your coverage level, let's say you're taking the global all-inclusive protection, right away, you'll get the information pop up telling you what exactly is included in this coverage, what the total price is for everyone, tax included, as well as how much money you stand to make on this. So you see a pretty penny, $604 commission on a total price of $14.91. Just to make your sales pitch a bit easier, because these amounts, especially in the case of people traveling for a week or more, tend to get a little intimidating. We've included this average daily price per passenger for you also. So instead of saying, you know, it's $1,500, it's $21 per person per day. So just a little added tool for you. So you've got the global all-inclusive, premium protection plan, and then the simple trip cancellation plan if you'd like. And then finally, when you get to the price breakdown section, this is where working with Agencia is different to working with whoever you are at the moment. So we've actually added a couple of features to our tool based on agent feedback, and not just feedback on how Agencia could get better, but feedback basically on what kind of headaches you as travel advisors are facing in your day-to-day that no consolidator on the market has solved for you yet. So two things that we heard often was agents don't like having markup limits applied to their tickets because that would require the need for a second merchant account if they're applying incremental markup, which means two charges on the customer's credit card and therefore the third degree after the fact. And that it would be great if somebody could offer them the ability to accept multiple credit cards on one PNR as form of payment, because they're tired, for example, of booking 4 PNRs for 4 people all traveling together just because they each wanted to use their respective credit cards. So this is where I'll get into how we solve both those issues and kind of just walk through what we're looking at here. So first and foremost, you'll see right here at the bottom, you'll see the charges on the customer's credit card. So right now we're using a published fare. Obviously, Westjet accepts credit card on published fares. So you're seeing that's going on the merchant account. The agency payout section. So right now we're seeing a 0 because I'm in a demo account where time of ticketing commission is always set to 0. But let's say, for example, your commission here was showing as $100. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, you wouldn't make only $100 on this ticket. You'd actually be making $50 for each one of these tickets you're selling. So that would be an extra $250. So you'd actually be making $350 rather than just the $100 that would be displayed here. Now, let's say you want to add a markup to this ticket. How much could you mark it up by? If you hover over the little question mark right over here, you're going to get 2 answers. Number 1, how much does the airline allow for? Number 2, how much does Agencia allow for? So in this case, we're looking at a published fare. As we all know, no airline is going to allow you to mark up a published fare on the merchant account. In Agencia's case, regardless of the fare type, we're going to allow you to mark up by up to double the base fare. So that $98.40 you're seeing where it says maximum agency markup is double this $49.20 right over here. So let's say, for example, you've booked a hotel for them, you've booked some limo service to and from the airport and so on. You're using multiple systems to do that. And you want to use Agencia to offer, you know, like a global price. And let's say everything you're providing warrants a markup of $2,500. So that's where you enter your $2,500 right over there. You'll note down here in the breakdown of price per pax, base fare and taxes remain unaffected. By the way, for the taxes, if you hover over the little question mark, you'll see the breakdown of those taxes. You'll get your subtotal, your markup per customer, the service fee, and grand total per customer with the grand total for all right here at the bottom. When we look at the charges on the customer's credit card, we're seeing 2 charges now. We still have the $85.30 from Westjet right over here. You've got the $2,500 markup that you added right up here. That was added on Agencia's merchant account. Now the service fee, anything that goes on our merchant account has a 3% service fee applied to it, basically just to offset the fees that we face by using our merchant account to accept the credit card payment. So that gets tacked on into the price. But again, we're looking at 2 separate credit card charges here. So what we've done is we've included this pricing strategy section right over here. You'll notice that lowest price is always selected by default. What we mean by that is if you're looking to mark up your ticket by this amount, for example, the lowest price that you could charge is this $11,109, but you would have those 2 separate charges. Now, if you were to select single charge, the price will probably go up to about $11,350 or so. There we go, $11,378. Now, once you select single charge, you'll note the entirety of the transaction got pushed to our merchant account. So no need to explain a second line item on the customer's credit card. No need to explain how much of that went in your pocket. You're charging one price. It's all going on our merchant account. The reason the price went up a bit is now the 3% applies to the entirety of the fare plus the markup rather than just the incremental markup that you added. So if you want to go back down around, you know, the original price, because that's what you agreed to with the customer, you could take it out of your markup. Here we are back at the 11,000 territory. So it's up to you whether you believe that cost would need to come out of your markup, or if customer feels comfortable paying this all-inclusive price. At this point, the only question you might get as a post-booking inquiry would be, I booked with you at ABC Travel, I bought a Westjet ticket, so who's Agencia? Very easy to answer, we're your wholesaler, we issue tickets for you, therefore our merchant account was used. So now let's say these 5 customers that we're booking for love the price, they're ready to go. You think you're almost done and you're going to make your money, but unfortunately that's where each one pulls their respective credit card out of their pocket, because one wants Canadian Tire money, the other one wants Aeroplan miles, the other one wants cash back, and so on. So unfortunately, if you're not using Agencia, this is where you got to go back and book 5 separate PNRs. In Agencia though, when you move down to the payment section, you'll see here single payment is selected by default. So if one person's paying for everyone, enter their info right over here, click that you agree to the terms and conditions, hit book and pay, and you're done. Once you click on book and pay, you'll get a 9-digit Agencia Global confirmation number. You'll get your tickets issued by email within 2 hours. If you have any questions, you could call or email us with that 9-digit confirmation number. You'll have access to download and print both an itinerary and an invoice for your customers, or you could send them by email as well. They're in PDF format, both of which would have your agency's info at the top. So when you register for an account, that information is saved and automatically appears at the top of your itinerary and your invoice. But again, let's say in this case, it's not one person paying for everyone. Everyone wants to use their card. So at that point, you'd click on multiple payment, at which point you see a little drop-down menu appear here that allows you to select as many credit cards as there are customers. And if I go down here to the payment section, it won't let me enter any info because it says I have to assign customers to their cards. So you'll note here, we've got 5 card slots that popped up. We've got 5 passengers right over here. It's a very simple drag and drop system. Grab everyone, assign them to their respective cards, at which point, there we go. We've got Bobby on card 1. We then put Evans on card 2. We've got Mona on card 3. And I'm not going to make you watch me do this 5 times, but just to show you, the name does change as we flip through tabs. So once you put all 5 of their credit card information in here and you click on book and pay, you've hidden your markup completely under one charge. You're still getting your personalized invoice itinerary. On the invoice, the markup that you applied will be pushed into the base fare if you use the single charge feature. So it'll show service fee 0. And again, your tickets will be issued within 2 hours. Now, you don't have to use one credit card per customer. Let's say this is 2 couples traveling together, one of which has a kid. Select 2 over here, grab one person, drag them over there. Card 1's going to get charged for 3 fares. Card 2 is going to get charged for those 2 fares, and you're off to the races again. So that's pretty much the booking process. I'm not going to actually make the booking so we don't create a useless void task for one of my colleagues here. But if you do like what you saw and you are interested in registering, or if you feel like just registering and making one booking to qualify for that raffle of the discount vouchers, by all means, I'm not going to stop you, but let me show you how to register. So when you go to www.agenciaglobal.com, you click on register right over here. We're going to ask you for some basic info, business name, some company info, and then at the bottom here, the name of a master agent. So that could be the agency owner, director, HR, accounting, you name it. Master agents could modify agency information. They could view everyone's quotes and bookings. They could access the agency commission statements, whereas a regular agent could make bookings, access their own bookings, and that's about it. The master agent who sets up the account could add up to 50 people to the account as well. And there's no cap to how many master agents or regular agents there are. So, you know, if there's 5 directors in the agency, all 5 could have master agent accounts, and then every agent working there could have a regular account. So that's it. Once again, to recap, if you're still here and you plan on sticking around for the next 9 minutes, then you'll have attended the webinar in its entirety. So that box is already checked. To register for an account on Agencia Global, again, www.agenciaglobal.com. Hit this register button right over here. And finally, we ask that you make one Westjet booking between today and June 26th, not May 26th. Again, apologies for that at the beginning of the webinar. And if you have any questions for Chantal and I, it would be our pleasure to answer them.
Thank you so much, Jimmy and Chantal. What an informative presentation you both gave. Lots of good information there and some great updates. We only have a few minutes left, so we're probably not going to be able to get to all the questions today. So before I answer the few that I think we have time for, I just wanted to reiterate that you can also make contact after and ask questions that way. I will also share all the questions from today's webinar with Jimmy and Chantal. So if they feel they need to reach out to anybody to answer some questions that way, they can do it that way as well. There were, Jimmy, some questions, a few agents asking some questions around contact information. So just to confirm that for our participants today, on a follow-up email, Jimmy, I can share contact information for Agencia there. Is that okay? Great. So
you know what, Candice, I'll do
yeah.
you one better as we're answering other questions. I'm just going to share my screen again.
Okay, sure.
Here we go. I'll just log in. If you just, I didn't even have to log in, apologies. So if you click on the contact us button right over here at the bottom, here's our contact information, hours of operation. And just to add to that, I was typing out an answer in the Q&A, but for those who asked, we're located in Montreal. We're headquartered in Montreal, so we are a Canadian company, but we do have an office in Atlanta, as we do have an ARC number as well for that point of sale USA content as well. So our email and phone number are right over here. If anyone did like what they saw, but I know I speak quickly and I know we're on a limited schedule right now, so I went through that really quickly. Please feel free to email us right over here if you'd like a more in-depth one-on-one presentation. All one-on-one webinar requests get sent directly to me by my colleague. So I'll reach out to you and we'll set something up at your convenience.
Oh, great. That is great information, Jimmy, and a great way to go through all this information. Again, travel agents, if you need it. Okay, so we have just a few minutes here. I'm going to get to some of the questions. Let's see. I had one here about bonus commissions. Jimmy, are there bonus commissions only available if you book online? Sheila is saying that their agency, and as an agent, she generally books with the GDS.
So we don't provide GDS bridges to any agency partners. As we all know, some agencies tend to use the GDS in ways that could compromise a wholesaler's ticketing authority. So just in the interest of playing it safe, we ask that any agent interested in selling through Agencia use the web-based platform that I just demoed.
Great. Thank you so much for answering that. I have a question from Scott. He is saying, I'm a home-based agent. Can I register myself through my or do I register through my head office?
So we do ask that you provide some form of accreditation when filling out the registration form, be it an IATA number, TIDS, CLIA, True, TICO, so on. So if you do have one of those, feel free to register directly with us. If not, please email us here and mention who your host agency is, and it'll be my pleasure to reach out to them on your behalf. It wouldn't be the first time I've done something like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Jimmy. Along those lines, another agent, Anne, was asking if I'm an outside agent using the host's IATA, the host needs to sign up with Agencia. Is that correct as well?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay,
but
perfect.
I do know that many host agencies are very open to signing up with just about anyone, so it shouldn't be an issue for us to sign up. I know that some have criteria to be listed as a quote unquote preferred partner. That's kind of on a case-by-case basis. I'd have to see what the procedure is, but to get you access to Agencia, despite being a home agent with no IATA number, should be a relatively easy process nonetheless.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jimmy. I have a question here from Carla, and she says, Jimmy, do you have an emergency line dedicated for travel agents in case of airport issues for clients? So for example, if there's like a 24-hour line in case there's issues at 3 a.m. or that kind of thing.
Not anymore. And I'm not the type to make fake promises. So we have considered it, but we're not there just yet. We used to have 24/7 service prior to the pandemic, but then, you know, that threw a wrench in everyone's plan. So for the time being, our hours of operation are really what you're seeing here.
Okay, thank you so much. And then let's see, we can do one more here for Jimmy, and then Chantal, I'll ask some WestJet questions. I had a few people asking about bonus commissions. Are there any bonus commissions offered for sun destinations?
Yes, and you know what? Stay tuned. Sign up on Agencia, click on that banner by tomorrow, and yes, will see something for sun destinations as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Okay. And let's see now. I had for Westjet. Chantal, quick question. The Westjet Dreamliner, this was a cute question. Do they pump lemongrass smell in the air in premium class?
I don't have an exact answer, but I wouldn't be surprised. It would be something that would have been tested and surveyed to make sure that it would be something pleasant that everyone would enjoy. But I do know that if it's an overnight flight, when you wake up in the morning, you hear the sounds of the loons. Like it's amazing. It really feels so relaxing. And plus the air quality of the Dreamliner is phenomenal. So you don't get as much of that jet lag, but it is, and even the Northern Lights, they have the lights at night. It's amazing. It really is an amazing aircraft.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for answering that. I thought it would be good to do a fun one. I have another question here from Elizabeth, and she's wondering about flights to Europe for clients who are in Halifax. So that maybe being a little bit of a problem to solve. And so what suggestions you could make there?
It's a very, very good question, because I know we've had like flights into Scotland and Ireland from Halifax some years ago, and those were like year after year. Unfortunately, we've moved all of our Dreamliners to Calgary, so none of them are flying from the east or from Toronto or Halifax. They're all based in Calgary, and these are the aircrafts that are used to go to Europe. So my answer, unfortunately, is that you're right. If someone lives out east in Canada, it would not make sense to connect through Calgary and go to Europe. So it's more for the Western-based Canadians, you know, having that option to have a direct flight into, into Europe. But not to say that down the road, the flights to Europe from Halifax will not come back. They're just not available at this time.
Okay, thank you so much for that. All righty, with 1 minute left, I think we're going to close out the webinar today. So I'd like to thank you both again, Jimmy and Chantal, for being on here with us today and with our Travelweek readers. Thank you so much for sharing all your information. Again, I'm going to follow up with an email to all you travel agents and to connect you with anything, but you've also been given contact information as well. If you need to reach out to Jimmy or if you need to reach out to Chantal, you can get in touch with me also through the webinar follow-up. So thank you again for being online with us today, Jimmy and Chantal, and to all our Travelweek readers. Thank you so much for being here again and for participating in today's webinar. We can't wait to see you on the next one. Okay, take care.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.